One area of usage for Song Surgeon that we haven't discussed a lot is its use in choirs. Not only can Song Surgeon help choir members learn easier and quicker, but it can also save a tremendous amount of time at scheduled practices. Hi, this is Jim Todd, and in this weekly tip we'll review the two main ways that Song Surgeon is often used within choirs. At most choir practices, each of the four parts, soprano, alto, bass, and tenor, takes their turn in practicing a particular song. That means while the one group is practicing, the other three are sitting on their hands, or more often, as in our case, sitting around talking and being a distraction for the group currently practicing. So rather than wasting all of this time, instrumental recordings of each of the four parts can be made, and then at practices, 4 stations can be set up, each with a notebook running Song Surgeon. And then this will allow each of the 4 choral parts to be practiced simultaneously, rather than have 3 groups waiting for their turn while one group is rehearsing their part. On my screen, you can see what one such station might look like. In this case, it's for tenors. And in this particular instance, I have divided the song, Ave Verum Corpus, into 4 different segments. Because for me, as I sing this, there are some natural breaks that I can make for practice purposes that makes learning this song easier. And so the concept would be that the tenors can all gather together at the tenor station, the altos at the alto station, the basses at the bass station, and the sopranos at the soprano station. And there are 2 different features within Song Surgeon that are particularly useful when practicing choir parts. The first is the looping function, and as you can see on the screen, I have set up 4 different loops to coincide with the breaks that I mentioned earlier that I find that I can naturally place in this song for practice purposes. And the way it works then is we simply start a particular one of these 4 segments playing, and we sing along with it to practice it, and then when it gets to the end, near the end here where the red line is, it will actually hit the end, jump back to the beginning, and start playing all over again, which allows us to start singing all over again. So this gives us the ability to constantly repeat and constantly sing along with, so it sort of burns this into our memory and makes learning it easier and quicker. So that's one feature that's particularly important. And the second feature that is often used is the concept of putting a pause at the end of each of the loops. And the way that we do that is that we select a loop, and the loop is selected when the progress indicator, this white line, is within a particular loop. In this case, it's within loop 1. So when it's within that loop, if we select the edit button, it opens a little edit loop window. Let me move it over here so we can look at it. Down here there is a field for delay, which is right now set to 0, which means it loops continuously without pause. But if I change this to 5, 10, 15, or 50 seconds, then it will delay that long before it jumps back to the beginning. So let me set this to 10 as an example. I've done that. So the idea now is that it hits the end of the loop and it pauses for 10 seconds, and then it jumps back to the beginning. And the reason for doing that is pretty simple. As a group of tenors or altos or basses or whatever, you may want to have a brief conversation at the end to say, oh, hey, so-and-so, you're singing off key, or we need to do this different or do that different. It gives you a chance to sort of regroup before the song starts playing again, and many people also find that helpful. So the overall big picture then is that you've got 4 stations set up, and the choir director can go from one station to the next, and he can give each group however much instruction or direction that they need before he moves to the next group. And while he's spending time with one group, the other groups can all be practicing and not wasting their time. So you can see how that saves a tremendous amount of time for everyone involved. Lastly, the way we work in our choir is that each choir member is sent a piano recording of their part by email. Individual members that own Song Surgeon can then open the song and practice it at home using the same features that we spoke about earlier, meaning the looping features as well as the pause or delay feature. And this allows them to focus on the segment or segments of the piece that they need the most work on. And obviously this practice at home reinforces what they learn while they're at choir practice. If you are not using Song Surgeon in your choir, you should really consider it. It will save you a ton of time and it will make learning easier and quicker, ultimately allowing you to sing the song better and enabling your choir to sound better. And as I conclude, let me put this button up on the screen. And if you click the link to go to our homepage, you'll find this button on the homepage. And as you can see, it's really two buttons here. The first is for the fully functional 4-hour demo. And if you'd like to take Song Surgeon for a test run or a test drive, I'd encourage you to click that button, fill out the form, and try Song Surgeon. And if you just want to go ahead and buy the product because you think you've seen enough, that'd be great. We'd appreciate the order, and you can click the buy or order button right here, and it'll take you to the first page of the shopping cart. Thanks.